Hey everybody, this is Ron Taylor with the Roughcut Overview. We're looking at 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Again, we're not trying to be exhaustive in any way. We're just endeavoring to do some thought provocation. Verse 1 in the chapter, he says, why don't you go ahead and accept me as a fool? You look down at verse 19, he makes the point that you're accepting of fools and you embrace them, and you even let them mistreat you, abuse you, and walk all over you. Maybe I should try being a fool for the sake of your liberation. In verse 3, he says, I'm concerned about you, lest you be led astray as the serpent beguiled Eve in the Garden of Eden, that you be led astray from the sincere and pure devotion to Christ. In verse 6, he makes the point, you know that I may be unskilled in speaking, but I'm not unskilled in knowledge. I've shown that to you in every way. And he says these people that are making braggadocious statements against me and comparing themselves to me and saying they're far better than I am, he makes a very strong statement. He says they're servants of Satan. They're doing the work of the enemy. And he says they've transitioned themselves into servants of Satan, and he said, and no marvel, Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And he says, these apostles, he says, let me speak as a fool. Let me rave for a little bit. Let me go out my mind so that you can hear what that sounds like. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they descendants of Abraham? So am I. So are they servants of Christ? Well, I'm really getting foolish now. He says, I'm more than a servant of Christ. He starts listing his persecutions. His persecutions are presented as credential, and he says, does anybody want to compare persecutions with me? Now, keep in mind, this is the context of being absolutely foolish, but he's saying I'm better in Christ than they are. Again, it's a foolish statement. Because of my crucifixion. If you really want it skin for skin, if you really want to compare yourself with me, let's compare persecutions. Okay? Let's not talk about what great orators you are. Let's not talk about how much you think you know. Let's talk about your bruises, your scars, the persecutions. Let's talk about how stirred up the enemy got by your mere presence, that you were stoned, you were shipwrecked, you were beaten with rods. Any of that going on with these super apostles, quote, super apostles? And again, like I said, this is in the context of foolishness. He knows every man's in Christ. But his point is, if you're going to go down the path of foolish comparisons, let this bring you back into wisdom. If they're not being persecuted, you're not standing for the gospel. All right. Love you. God bless you. See you next time.